Hello, my name is Clantis and welcome to the clan. So without further ado, let's get into the video today. Yes, I am standing, I'm not sitting down. That's because I'm still a little bit confused as to what just happened at the Gauteng High Court in the Senzo Meyiwa murder retrial, because it's like 11:30 and then it's all over. Yesterday, this entire case was also left hanging. We were left on a cliffhanger because the current witness, I don't know if he fell ill or what happened, or whatever happened, but if I remember correctly, after watching the replay, I was a little bit confused as to what he was talking about on the stand, because he seemed to be giving a lot of figures and a lot of exhibitions that were packaged. Of course, I'm thinking he was talking about all the evidence or exhibitions that he collected at the Kumalo house on the 26th. Actually, he arrived 4 hours late or later after the incident had happened, from what I think I understand. If I misunderstood that, please do correct me. 4 hours later. So you're telling me in the 4 hours before he arrived, because we know that there was first responders, Mtetwa and Matebula, and 2 students. So you're telling me that these 4 have been waiting for Musia to arrive for the past 4 hours, because apparently he says he arrived just before midnight, or he got the call about 12 midnight, and then he arrived at 12:15 midnight. Oh, am I mixing the times here? Please do correct me if I'm wrong, because I was trying my level best to listen to this individual, whom sometimes was actually his voice would get low, and then of course it's being translated in the language of Sesotho, and then of course it will be translated into Zulu and English, and I think I was losing it somewhere in the translation about the times too. Please do correct me if I'm wrong on this one. That Warrant Officer Musia, who was a constable back then during the Senzo Meyiwa murder, he was the one who is, what do you call these people, crime scene attendants, meaning that he comes with a camera, he comes with the blue lights, meaning like the ones to check for blood, if there was blood present, if there was a shooting or a stabbing, or aluminum, that's the powder that they use to spread around, once again, to check if there was blood present, if there's no blood visible. If you remember very well from the testimony of Happy Ngubeni, she said when they walked into the house, there was water instead of blood, and she asked about why there's water instead of blood when somebody was shot. So you and I suspect that that was already clean while Senzo Meyiwa was still lying dead in the house. And you and I believe that Senzo Meyiwa, before he was taken to a hospital, he was already dead. Yes, there are some people who say no, he died on the way. Others are saying he died at the hospital. But me, I'm saying he died in the house. That is just my suspicion. I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm just rubbing my 2 IQs here. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that this particular individual that is understand Warrant Officer Musia, from what I understood of yesterday's testimony, he could not chronologically tell of the evidence that he collected, particularly the swabs. He said he collected 12 swabs. And I was also shocked to understand or hear him say that he only took photos, 8 photos, because his camera was giving him trouble with flashing lights or something like that, or it was not taking pictures properly. While the other officer that came, I think the following day, I think it's Mhlotla or something of that nature, she managed to take 130 photos. Now the question that I'm asking myself then, whose photographs do we believe? Because I would assume that the photographs that we're supposed to believe is of the photographer of the SAPS who arrived there first. Because at that time, what do you call this? The crime scene was still pretty much fresh, and he would have taken all the pictures of all the exhibitions and everything else that the first respondents would have shown him, that, okay, here, exhibition, here's a cone, and there's an exhibition, here's a cone, and there's an exhibition, here's a cone. And every time he's pointed an exhibition, he will take pictures. He will take pictures. But no, he only managed to take 8 pictures while the other officer managed to take 130. Where is the other 100 and come on, give me your maths, give me your quick maths. Yeah, that much came from. Where all those exhibitions came from? Over 8 to 130. Come on, people. Don't you see an additional exhibitions here? Because that's what Musia is saying. And I believe that here is telling the truth about the exhibitions that he took, that there were 8 pictures. The other story about the camera not working, why would you be a policeman knowing that you are going to serve justice for the family that just had their person shot? And you know that you are going there with broken equipment. How is justice going to be served like that? Is the question that I want to know. So you say that the story of the camera not working is a lie, because you know why he's lying? There were exhibitions that were added after the effect. My suspicion, the 8 is the original pictures that were taken, and there were 8 items that were on the floor, and you and I already know what those items were. The hat, the crutches, the blood spatter, the bullets that was on the floor, and then he added the bullet hole on the floor. We know of the bullet that was on the door, but they didn't say it's a bullet that was on the door. They say it's a damaged door. And then we know of the cans of alcohol. And what else do we know? What else do we know? What else do we know? And then, of course, Senzo Meyiwa's body that was taken to the hospital. Those are the 8 things that he would have taken. Of course, not the body of Senzo Meyiwa. You just I forgot the last one. What other the 8th item he had added that he took photos of. And that is it. That is the end. Now suddenly he comes the following day. Suddenly there is a bullet fragment and a bullet on top of the cupboard behind a clear glass or something like that. Yet the 2 officers that first responded, they looked right now in court. The reason why I think the court adjourned is because of 2 words: thorough and diligent. The judge says Mr. Matebula or Mr. Mtetwa did not testify that they did a diligent search. But the defense lawyers are saying he said they did a thorough search. Now the question is, what does thorough and diligent mean? From where I'm seated, it means the same thing. Okay, fine. I understand that we are in trial, and it is very important that every word that is said in court, so that justice is served, are important. Every word important. And so, of course, what do? There is intrinsic and extrinsic meaning of words. So what do you do in a case like that? It's either you approach an English professor and say, what does thorough and diligent mean? And then we will go with the one that the English professor says, or the Oxford Dictionary, because the Oxford Dictionary is going to give you a clear definition of a word, and that's the word, of course, you take with and go and move forward in court. So now there was that semantics between thorough and diligence, to a point where today became an end of the court. It was adjourned, or it stood down until Monday, just because of 2 words. The judge wanted to be right, that diligence doesn't mean search, it doesn't also mean thorough, it means something else. And I'm saying, no, my lord, it means the same thing. Yes, it means the same thing. Thorough and diligence means, because if you are diligent, that means you are looking, or you are searching, or whatever it is you're doing thoroughly. You are being diligent. You are making sure that you do not miss out anything. When you are thorough, you are doing the same thing. You even go back and check again. That's being diligent. That's being thorough. I don't understand what is the difference to the judge between thorough and diligent. And the advocate Ngumalo is correct, because I heard the same thing, that the witnesses had said that they went and they searched thoroughly and they found nothing. So now, why are we going back and forth to a point now we adjourned until Monday? Now, this is the second time that this witness has taken the stand and the court has adjourned. Yesterday it adjourned and never came back. No explanations. And then only this morning I'm hearing Advocate Ngumalo asking the witness if he's okay. From what I think I understand, Warrant Officer Musia has a back problem of some sort, so he cannot sit for a long time. So whenever he testifies, he has to stand. And then he would now and again ask for a comfort break. So I was asking myself yesterday why they keep asking him about comfort break, because they didn't ask all the other witnesses. Then I understand that he has a medical problem or something of that nature. So I understood that. That's fine. But now, why yesterday? Because he could not remember in chronological order his own evidence collection. That is why I felt like it was also important for the defense to ask this witness about the process of collecting evidence. What is the process of collecting evidence? Because he says that he is a crime scene attendant. As a crime scene attendant, that is like a mini ballistic expert. Yes, it's not a ballistic expert, but it is something that you hand over to the ballistic guy and say, okay, this is the thorough search, diligent search that I've done. These are the evidence that I've collected, and I've taken the pictures of them, and then I have filed them accordingly, and now I am handing them over to you for examination. So that's what I understand of a crime scene attendant, that this is a guy who is the level below the ballistic expert. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how it sounded like to me. But anyways, guys, it looks like that is it. But then just to go back a little bit, I'm just going to touch on this one just a little bit about the collection of evidence in the Khumalo house by this particular witness. It sounds to me that this witness did not do a thorough job. He was looking at where he should and where he should not take swabs. He would also choose where to collect evidence and where not to collect evidence in the house. I would have thought you remove everybody after you have heard the full story, because the story goes like this. We were sitting just before 8 or whenever the time was, or just before we left, 2 intruders came and then they demanded they demanded money and cell phone. Then a scuffle happened. Then we heard a gunshot. People ran into bedrooms. Tomelo ran to the second bedroom. Kelly Khumalo ran into the first bedroom that is opposite the kitchen, and then Longwe ran through the kitchen door. Now, to me, what does that mean? What? Oh, yeah. And then suspect number 2 tried to fight Kelly Khumalo by trying to open the door, meaning there are fingerprints, possibly DNA, possibly even gun residues. But no, he decides not to take any swabs on that particular door. He doesn't take any swabs in the second bedroom. He does not take any swabs in the kitchen door because hearsay. He says he's been told that the kitchen door has been used so much so that he decided that it's not going to be wise for me to take swabs of the kitchen door, meaning the handle. And then the handle would do what as well? Possibility of gun residues. Yesterday, I think he was asked about gun residues, and then he tried to explain that gun residues are done on the body if the person committed, on themselves. Also, he also talked about how the gun residues can be wiped or washed off if it lands on the hands of a person. But the question was, what about on the clothes? Because also it could get stuck on the clothes. Did you collect the clothes of the people that were present in the house? He said no. Now, how do you call yourself a crime scene attendant if you are not going to be thoroughly taking and collecting all the evidence that is relevant for the ballistic? Is the question I'm asking. So now he says that no, he was picking and choosing where he was going to do swabs. So meaning that we have an incomplete crime scene. Evidence is incomplete. But the ones that they are pushing thoroughly with the state is the fact that, that gun, that bullet head that they want to pin on accused number 3, I think that is where they are building up to. Hence, they found that bullet on top of the cupboard that the 2 officers, the first responders, did not see. They want to pin it on accused number 3. 2 different guns were fired, from what I'm understanding. 2 different guns were fired. The one that killed Senzo Meyiwa, Dololo. But we found the other one. So did Senzo Meyiwa's body searched for the bullet? Because from what I understand from, I think it was a pathologist's report or an autopsy, there was an exit wound and, no, there was an entry wound and there was an exit wound. Meaning that the bullet left his body. Where did it go to? Because even Musia himself says, I searched thoroughly in between the door frames and everywhere, but I did not find it. But let me tell you something that I think they might find the bullet. if they took a metal detector, you know, the one with the long stick, you know, the one with the long stick that touches the floor or the ground, they should use it on the Khumalo yard, including the Ngache yard. I know it's been 9 years, but this metal detector has dug up things that were buried thousands of years ago. As long as it's metal, so if they can go in the Khumalo yard and basically do a metal detector test there, they might come up with something. The bullet that hit Senzo Meyiwa probably is buried in those grounds. I'm just suggesting. Because it makes no sense that that bullet was not found. But a different bullet of a different gun, where is that gun? Oh wait, I know. The person, which is accused number 3, has been convicted for it already. So here we go. I had to create a shorts where I was doing a Whitney Houston. You can check it out if you want to laugh. Mock me if you want to, because that's why I create those videos, to be mocked and have fun with you guys. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, give it a like. If you don't like the video, give it a like. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. My super thanks are turned on, and thank you so much to everybody that's super thanking my channel and supporting it financially. Yes, I did get myself a grandpa last night, and then I went to bed, and then I woke up this morning very much fresh, and I feel good. That's because of the money that you guys are sending on the super thanks. I appreciate it very much. Also, share this video far and wide. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Maybe I got some few things wrong. Guys, I'm not an expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. All I'm doing on this channel is just rubbing my 2 IQs together. And thank goodness that most of you that are following me on this channel are critical thinkers as well. You come and you add your own 2 cents. And I appreciate that. I accept that. We are all about opinions. We are just showing activity that we are active citizens and that we want to see justice done for the Meyiwa family. Anyways, guys, let me see you again next time with a new video. Goodbye.